There's a version of you, stronger, sharper, unbreakable, but you'll never meet him if you keep running from pain. You think life's hard now? Good. That pressure you feel, that's the weight that forges men. Most people crack, but if you refuse to fold, you'll become something this world can't ignore. You've been lied to. Strength doesn't come from comfort, it's born in chaos. And if you walk away from this video now, you might never realize just how dangerous you could become. They laughed when I failed. They mocked me when I lost, but they forgot one thing. I don't break, I reload. And when I come back with fire in my eyes and blood in my teeth. Let me tell you something they'll never have the balls to admit. Life isn't supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to feel good all the time. It's not designed to hand you anything just because you exist. That's not how this works. From the moment you're born, you're in a fight, whether you accept it or not. You're either sharpening your mind or softening it. And let me tell you right now, this world is not waiting for you to figure it out. It's testing you every second. Every obstacle, every betrayal, every time someone lets you down or underestimates you, that's life asking you a simple question. How mentally strong are you really? And most people fold. They look for distractions, excuses, someone to blame. They want comfort more than they want greatness. But greatness doesn't come to the comfortable. It comes to the resilient. You think adversity is unfair? You think failure means you're broken? Listen carefully. Adversity is the only real qualification you need. It's the fire that forges everything. The strongest steel is made in the hottest flames. The best minds are born in the darkest hours. If you've been through pain, if you've struggled, if you've cried in silence wondering why nothing is working, good. That means you're in the process. That means you're being shaped. The world isn't attacking you, it's sharpening you. There's a reason warriors train in storms, not sunshine, because only through hardship can you ever truly learn who you are. Only in chaos do you discover your focus, and only when you're broken do you get the chance to rebuild yourself. Stronger, harder, better. But here's the truth that separates men from boys. Most people never make it past the pain. They think pain means stop. They think rejection means give up. They let criticism destroy them because they were never trained to be mentally bulletproof. But when you're truly resilient, when your mind is carved from stone, you don't just survive pressure, you perform under it. Mental resilience isn't about pretending you're invincible. It's about knowing you're not and still showing up every single day with the intention to dominate, even when you're scared, even when it hurts, even when nobody claps for you or believes in you. Especially then. There were days I was broke, alone, humiliated, laughed at, days where I had nothing to hold on to except the belief that I wasn't going to stay there. And that's what separates the winners. Not money, not luck, not background, belief. Ruthless, unshakable belief in yourself when everything around you is screaming otherwise. That's where resilience is born. Not when you're winning, not when it's easy, but when you got nothing left and you still say, I'm not done. That sentence alone can build empires. So let them doubt you, let them talk, let the world throw every bit of hell it's got in your direction, because real strength, true mental toughness is found in the quiet moments where you refuse to quit. It's found in how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. It's found when you get knocked down and choose not just to rise, but to rise with fire in your chest and revenge in your breath. The comeback is always louder than the criticism. And when you've built your resilience through adversity, nothing, not failure, not pain, not betrayal, can ever break you again. Because once you've walked through hell and refused to bow, you become the kind of man the world cannot ignore. Mental resilience is not just some motivational phrase. It's a survival skill. The moment you accept that life isn't supposed to be fair and it's definitely not supposed to be easy, you begin to unlock a power most people never tap into. You start using the pain as fuel. You start using the rejection as direction. You start realizing that every single struggle you faced wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you for what? For everything, for power, for strength, for impact, for becoming the version of you that can't be stopped. Not because you're lucky, but because you've suffered and you kept moving. They'll never understand how dangerous a man becomes when he's been through adversity and didn't crumble, when he stood alone and didn't beg for help, when he heard you're not enough and used it as motivation to become unstoppable. That's what real resilience looks like. Not some Instagram quote, not a fleeting burst of hype, but a mindset built from scars and silence and nights spent building a future nobody could see but you. So if you're going through hell right now, good. Stay there. Don't run. Walk through it like you were built for this, because you are. And when you come out the other side, you won't just be stronger. You'll be unbreakable. I remember a time when everything around me felt like it was falling apart. You know those nights when it's so silent that your own thoughts start screaming at you? That was my reality. I wasn't on top. I wasn't respected. I wasn't celebrated. I was dismissed, laughed at, forgotten. People who used to pretend they cared disappeared the moment I had nothing left to give them. And that's when I learned the first brutal truth of this world. You are only as respected as your results. Nobody cares about your pain until you turn it into power. And in that lonely space where all you have is the sound of your heartbeat and the weight of your failures, that's where resilience is born. There was a point I had to ask myself a dangerous question. What if this is it? What if this is where I stay? What if it never gets better? And in that moment, I made a decision that would change my life forever. I said no. I said, this isn't the end, it's the beginning. And I didn't say it because I felt powerful. I said it because I refused to be defeated. That's the thing about true mental toughness. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not some Hollywood movie moment. It's quiet. It's stubborn. It's forged in private decisions that nobody sees. I didn't post about it. I didn't cry for validation. I just went to war with myself day after day until I climbed out of the pit. You know how it feels when people you once called friends see you struggling and treat you like a stranger? When every door gets slammed in your face and you still show up, not because you're optimistic, but because quitting feels like a betrayal to your own soul? That's mental resilience. When you keep walking through the storm, not because the rain has stopped, but because you made a promise to yourself that you will not drown. I didn't have fancy motivation. I didn't have a backup plan. I had pain and I had purpose. And those two things combined are more powerful than anything this world can throw at you. The world doesn't owe you comfort. It doesn't owe you understanding. But it gives you something much more valuable, resistance. And that resistance is a gift, whether you see it or not. It's the tension that builds strength. You don't become solid until you've been tested. Pressure is the price of progress. I lived that truth. Every moment I felt like breaking, every time I was one step away from collapsing, that was the universe checking to see if I deserved what I was asking for. And I had to keep showing it that I did. There's this misconception that mentally strong people don't feel pain. That's wrong. We feel it deeper. But the difference is we don't let pain paralyze us. We let it sculpt us. When the world knocked me down, I didn't stay down. I got up more dangerous, more focused, more driven. I started waking up earlier, training harder, thinking clearer. Every weakness became a challenge. Every loss became a lesson. Because when you shift your mindset from why is this happening to me to what is this preparing me for, you unlock a different version of yourself, a version most people never meet because they quit too early. And it's not just about proving others wrong. That's small. It's about proving to yourself that nothing external defines your worth. Not the money, not the approval, not the likes, the follows, or the praise. Because all of that is temporary. What's permanent is the identity you forge in the fire. And once you've earned it, once you bled for it, cried for it, sacrificed everything for it, you become a man that cannot be shaken. I've seen people fall apart over the smallest setbacks because no one ever taught them how to suffer with purpose. But I promise you this, if you embrace adversity instead of running from it, you will become something unrecognizable. Not a survivor, a force, a man with clarity, discipline, presence. Someone who walks into chaos with calm in his eyes. Someone who doesn't just react, he commands. That's what real resilience looks like. Not perfection, it's persistence. It's the will to keep going when everyone else stops. So when people ask me how I became who I am today, I don't give them a secret formula. I tell them the truth. I stayed in the fire longer than anyone else was willing to. That's it. I didn't escape it. I adapted to it. I let it mold me, destroy the weak parts of me, expose my flaws, and then I rebuilt. Stronger, sharper, ruthless in my discipline, kind in my intention, but unshakable in my mission. And that's the message I want every man to hear. You are not your circumstances. You are not your failures. You are what you decide to become every single day through your actions, your mindset, and your refusal to break. You've got a choice, fold or fight, hide or rise, complain or conquer. And the second you decide to fight, life will still try to break you, but you'll be too sharp to snap. You'll have scars, but they'll tell stories. You'll have enemies, but they'll never win. Because you'll know you earned your strength through adversity. And nobody can take that away from you.